me. God allows us, the day for all the right reasons. You know, this page is not for everybody, and that's okay. But God is good. God is so good. They don't understand how God is working in your favor, working in your life at the end of the day, and it's not meant for them to understand. When you don't gotta sit here and fake gaslight nobody when you truly at peace with yourself. But you don't have to tolerate someone's BS at the end of the day when they try to project negative energy on your mindset or allow you to believe that you're not worthy of yourself. When God steps in and shows you at the end of the day, you're more wiser, you're more braver, you're more stronger. You got more common sense to the next person at the end of the day that doesn't see their worth to try to bring you down with their words. That energy hit different. The trauma that you endured as a child, being sexually assaulted maybe, dealing with toxic family members, trauma on top of trauma, went into your adulthood, domestic violence, sicknesses, you put a name to your book, dealing with discrimination. And they don't understand how you're becoming your best self vision of yourself, how you're elevating, how you choosing yourself every single day, how you choosing to show up for yourself when they want you to fail, when they want to project negative energy on your mindset so you won't be able to show up for yourself. And you won't got to fake gaslight nobody wearing a mask in the day when God is working in your favor. That energy hit different. When you're truly at peace and you understood the assignment to heal within, and you've been healing for a very long time. Because you didn't allow your pain to stop your growth. You didn't allow your pain to stop your bond with God. You didn't stop yourself. Because God is still patient with you, and God is showing you to be patient with yourself. When you understand the assignment within the assignment, that God is still showing up for you. And understand at the end of the day, you are the miracle for yourself. The trauma that was endured within you from a child point of view going into adulthood. And when the enemy kept trying to show you to sit down, and when the enemy kept showing you that you need to give up on yourself, and when the enemy kept showing you to live in fear and be discouraged, and when the enemy kept showing up in all different types of people with the negative energy, in environments, it didn't matter what type of people it was that tried to project negative energy on your mindset to allow you to see that you're not worthy of yourself, so you won't be able to see your worth. So you won't be able to see, what? I do mean something to myself. I am somebody. When the enemy steps in, they don't want you to see yourself. They don't want to see you to be able to see your worth within yourself. When the enemy stops to knock on your door and they realize they can't get in, and when they realize they can't enter, they reevaluate their thought process and return back to sender. When that energy hit different, they don't understand where it's coming from. Because when you're dealing with a child of God, you got to be mindful who you playing with, and I say that respectfully. Ain't no spell work being done on you at the end of the day, no. But when you're dealing with a child of God, that energy hits so different. You're not gonna understand your thought process as to what you just did within what you just did at the end of the day. Or at the end of the day, I shouldn't have bothered that person today. Why did I even come out of my pocket to even have a thought process as to put a negative projection on somebody's mindset at the end of the day when they just trying to show up for themselves and elevate at the end of the day instead of praising your neighbor in the most healthiest way? You don't know how to praise yourself at the end of the day, so you rather just bring negative energy on your neighbor at the end of the day and show them that they're not worthy of themselves and hurt them with words at the end of the day because you don't know your self-worth. And because your neighbor knows their self-worth, you want to bring them down with words. You want to bring them down because you're miserable with them being miserable with your own thought process. There's no competition when it comes to elevate. It's no competition when it comes to becoming your best self vision of yourself. It's being in your own lane and understanding that I can respect my neighbor but no malicious intentions to bring harm towards myself or my neighbor. Something that you can't get in tune with, neighbor. It's the thought process of me. How when your neighbor sits there and tries to get a reaction out of you within a reaction, they send their enemies. They send their own enemies sometimes. Because when they reevaluate their thought process, their enemies become their own enemies. Because their enemies be against them. And when their enemies don't like them, they don't even realize their enemies sitting right next to them. So when they try to send their enemy to come attack you at the end of the day, they only reevaluate their life, saying to themselves is, you know what? I need to be more patient with my own process. Because this person's not even projecting negative energy on me. This person is just trying to elevate and become their best self vision of themselves. Clout chasing was never part of God's time, and I say that respectfully. It's sad and disturbing How someone will go a milestone to pay another person just to get information about somebody, and it'd be so much false information. It'd be the wrong narrative of a person's thought process at the end of the day, a projection of a mindset at the end of the day, of your own delusional mindset that you thought you was going to get information out of an innocent person at the end of the day. And to reevaluate your thought process at the end of the day, this person is a genuine, authentic person, and they real with themselves to be real with you, but you didn't know how to be real with yourself to actually have a conversation with them. You had to send somebody to get information. You had to pay somebody to try to find out information about somebody. It'd be the thought process for me. Like, stay in your lane, neighbor. It's never that serious. You could take your funds and invest it in something else instead of trying to invest it and trying to figure out somebody else at the end of the day when they just trying to elevate and become their best self, vision of themselves. You know how they have those pointless conversations about the third party person at the end of the day amongst these groups, within these groups, just for one person at the end of the day? And the whole entire time they reevaluate their life within these groups and say to themselves is, you know what? I need to fall back. I need to reevaluate my life. I need to do better for myself because me trying to attack my neighbor at the end of the day is not getting me nowhere. Me trying to make my neighbor feel less of a person or make my neighbor feel like they're not worthy of themselves, it's not working. When you don't have to sit there and wear a mask to fake gaslight yourself at the end of the day, when you don't have to when you don't have to explain yourself within explaining yourself of the mask that's not even on you at the end of the day, and they can't relate that you truly at peace with yourself, and you ain't gotta fake gaslight yourself because that energy hit different. When they see you genuinely smiling authentically, they don't understand your smile. It's not no fake gaslighting smile. It's a smile that's so permanent from God. That intuition from God, that God allows you to be patient with your process because you know God said there are better days ahead. You know that energy hit different. I say that respectfully. It does. You know, they don't understand because they're so miserable with them being miserable with their own thought process because they don't understand how to handle their own problems in the day. And they would have they so quick to judge a book by its cover. Label somebody and they don't even know them. But will feel some kind of way when someone is quick to judge them. Or when they're quick to somebody to attack them, they feel some kind of way. But when your neighbor's not bothering you, and when your neighbor doesn't have malicious intentions to hurt themselves or hurt other people around them, or is projecting negative energy, at the end of the day, they still trying to find a way. They still try to find a way. They still try to find a way to figure you out. How? How did you overcome the pain? How are you still standing before yourself? How are you still overriding everything I'm trying to project on you so you won't be able to show for yourself? How? I'm projecting spell work on you. It's not working. Why is it not working? Because when you come across a child of God, everything will be sent right back to back to sender. Return back to sender, and I say that respectfully. Because you don't know how protected this child of God is. You playing with the right one, but you're playing in your own face. And I say that respectfully because your thought process saying to yourself is fixing your face today. Saying to yourself is, you know what? Dang. What am I doing today? How am I saying I want peace within myself? How I say I want peace within my community or my environment or my village? And I don't even know how to respect my neighbor. It would never make sense. Never. It would never make sense. So when you see your neighbor elevating, and when you see your neighbor authentically in their own lane, minding their business at the end of the day, understand the assignment at the end of the day. Respect yourself. To respect your neighbor. You ain't gotta like your neighbor at the end of the day. Your neighbor don't got malicious intentions towards you. Or the animosity. For what? Because they truly at peace with themselves. And they understood the assignment to stay in their own lane. And because you're looking for a reaction out of your neighbor today, and the reaction that you thought you was going to get, you're not getting it. It be the thought process for me. It really do. Every dollar is not a good dollar. And I say that respectfully. I hope you spent it really well. Getting no information, not getting too far. Especially trying to antagonize an innocent person. It's the thought process for me. Devil, devil, return back to sender. Devil, devil, not today. Devil, devil, return back to sender. Devil, devil, not today. Respectfully. Thank you, God, for continuing to be patient with my process, for me showing up for myself, so I know I'll be able to elevate. I know that I have the self-awareness within myself to know that I can understand myself today. I understand myself even more better today than I did yesterday because I'm willing to choose me. Whatever projection they trying to project on my mindset with negative energy at the end of the day, that doesn't live here. And I say that respectfully. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I have confidence within myself that God installed within me to be a firm believer, not live in fear or be discouraged at the end of the day or give up because my neighbor's putting a projection on my mindset at the end of the day because they're miserable or they don't want to see me elevate faster than them. It's no competition when it comes to elevating at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully. I can respect my neighbor and allow my neighbor to understand that there are better days ahead. And you got to just be patient with your process. You may not understand my walk of life, my journey at the end of the day, but I can still respect my neighbor. It's called respect. It's called respect. And it's something that you can't understand. People want to sit here and antagonize somebody to start violence. It doesn't make any sense. How you want to start chaos within chaos? Has your life been enough trauma already? And that's all you know is drama, trauma. When is enough going to be enough to stop projecting this negative energy on an innocent person to get a reaction out of them? It's disgusting. But you're so godly, though. How are you godly? But you have malicious intentions to antagonize somebody in the most uncomfortable way of your thought process. It's a projection. You know, words are very powerful. And to return back to sender respectfully, that energy works respectfully, real well. So any negative energy you're trying to project on somebody at the end of the day that's not bothering you, be mindful at the end of the day when you look at the reflection of yourself in the mirror. Oh, I forgot you can't look at your reflection of yourself because you're not ready to face your own music. But you're willing to come out your comfort zone and bother an innocent person. It be the mindset for me. You got too much time on your hands to not reevaluate your thought process instead of going against your neighbor. Put that same energy into yourself. Put it into yourself. It would make so much sense to understand you and understand where you coming from at the end of the day. Because what you're putting up a negative projection on an innocent person at the end of the day, it only goes to show who you truly are. And you're saying that you're a child of God. How are you a child of God going against your neighbor? How are you a child of God disrespecting your neighbor, having malicious intentions at the end of the day? How are you a child of God doing such a thing? God did not create us to do that. And I say that respectfully because God installed these tools within us so we can show up for ourselves. Self-awareness, self-healing, self-respect, self-control, self-peace, self-discipline, self-confidence, self-care, self-value, self-worth, self-patience, healthy boundaries, healthy balance. And understanding healthy balance is to understand at the end of the day, you have to balance these tools out that's within you to understand self-awareness, to understand that you have to balance you out every single day as your journey continues, as your journey continues. You see how the enemy works? Don't want me to talk? Get out of here. You see, it's the mindset at the end of the day. Be mindful when you project a negative energy on somebody. And I say that respectfully because you're only playing in your own face. You are. Yes, you are. When someone understands God's assignment for them, it's not meant for you to understand. Someone's journey, somebody's walk of life is not meant for you to understand how God is favoring somebody. It's not meant for you to understand that God is being patient with someone's process and is actually being shown on the outside and within because at the end of the day, they're their authentic selves and they ain't got to sit there and fake gas like nobody at the end of the day. When they're truly at peace with themselves and they understand self-awareness and they understand self-control and they understand self-respect. And they understand at the end of the day, going back and forth with their neighbor to exchange words for their neighbor to come out of pocket at the end of the day, that was never part of God's plan. That was the enemy's work. And when the enemy doesn't live here today, that energy hit different. Because when you become your own worst enemy, you start to project all of this negative, toxic energy into the universe to bother innocent people who's not even deserving of that. Who's trying to find themselves and pick themselves up. And now they got to fix themselves within fixing their thought process when it comes to you. Negative projection being put on their mindset because of what you just said. Or what you're trying to do, antagonize them, get a reaction out of them. And then you try to have malicious intentions to bring harm towards them. It's the mindset for me. When someone is truly at peace with themselves, you can never stop something that's truly for a child of God. You can never stop it. And I say that respectfully. Be mindful when you're trying to project negative energy on an innocent person. It's the mindset for me. It truly is. You know, to understand these tools that God installed within us so we could be able to elevate, to become our best self visions of ourselves. It's a process within a process. You may not understand someone's process when it comes to understanding that there are better days ahead. And they ain't got to fake gaslight nobody because God is working in their favor and God is allowing them to believe that there are better days ahead. You know, you walk by faith, not by sight. So when you understand the assignment that God is still patient with your process at the end of the day, you're going to overlook yourself. You're going to overlook yourself because you're not understanding how God is favoring your neighbor. You're not understanding. And you're trying to figure it out, but you can't figure it out. You can't. Everybody's steps are ordered differently. Everybody's elevation is differently. Everybody's timing of growth is differently. Everybody takes longer to heal. Not everybody's willing to accept the music of healing. Not everybody's willing to accept to accept the mindset of choosing themselves. They rather take care of everybody else and put themselves last. And this is what happens with society today. Everybody's putting everybody else first but themselves, to actually acknowledge themselves or all the trauma that was endured within them from a child point of view going into their adulthood. Trauma on top of trauma and being misled and being misguided by the wrong direction at the end of the day. How can you show up for yourself if you've been misguided? You're not going to want to show up for yourself because you're not going to understand that when it comes to self-love and when it comes to self-awareness, you got to understand self-healing. And I say that respectfully. And to understand yourself, you have to have self-respect. And have self-control. And have self-confidence. To understand you. Good day, bad day, misunderstanding day. You gotta choose you. Because if you don't choose you, you're gonna overlook you. And that's why they overlook you. And that's why people play in people's face. Because people overlook themselves and not get in tune to who they truly are. People say, I'm doing it in the work, I'm doing it in the work, I'm doing it in the work. But they feeling discouraged. They living in fear. They feel like giving up because they're not being patient with their process. They're not understanding at the end of the day, it's not an overnight process. It would never be an overnight process. And if it was, the world would be at peace right now. If that was the case, we would not have chaos within chaos. We would not have trauma within trauma. We would not have violence. The world would truly be at peace, but it's not. It's so dysfunctional within being dysfunctional. And it's so worse and disturbing to see that your neighbor will go against you. All because you're trying to elevate. And we're supposed to be united with each other. We're supposed to respect our neighbor, to understand God's plan, that there are better days ahead, and to be patient with your process, and to respect yourself in the most healthiest way, not the toxic behavior, because the enemy does not live here. When you allow the enemy to step into your world, you're allowing the enemy to have access to everything. You are. Your self-awareness, your self-respect, your self-peace, your self-control, your self-discipline, your self-confidence, your self-care, your self-value, your self-love, your self-worth, your self-patience, your healthy boundaries, your healthy balance. You know what the enemy wants you to do? They want you to not have that proper balance within yourself, to understand these tools that God installed within you. It's the mindset for me. It happens in life. It happens. We overlook ourselves because the enemy stepped in too long. Too many generations after generations at the end of the day that done bypassed to allow you to feel like you was unworthy of yourself. You had people come into your life, give up on you, allow you to feel unworthy of yourself, do spell work on you in the most toxic ways when you least expected, didn't even know what was going on, being brainwashed. And I say that respectfully, like all these projections being put on your mindset when you least expected. And you can't see for yourself. You don't have the self-awareness within yourself to even acknowledge what's going on within you. Because these people done played in your life for too long and allowed it to be the norm of the norm. And it's not the norm. It's not the norm. It stops your growth. It stops you from showing up for yourself. It stops you from loving yourself. It stops you from actually being there for your family the way you genuinely want to be there. Like you're there, but you're not there, but you're there. If that makes any sense. You ever felt some way like you're there, but you're not there, but you're there? And you just felt so in your own little world. And you're just trying to figure yourself out like, hold on, what's going on? Like, I'm here, but I'm not here, but I'm here. And you have a mask on this whole entire time because you have not done the inner work within yourself. You have not done the inner work within yourself to show up for yourself. All this whole entire time you've been wearing a mask, substance abuse. dysfunctional relationships, making yourself sick. You know, depression and anxiety, all these toxic stuff that they labeled us as at the end of the day, it causes us to get even more sick. It triggers our bodies when we least expect it. So we won't be able to show up for ourselves. It's the mindset for me. And projecting negative energy on your neighbor, it ain't making it no better either. Because it's stopping your own growth. Because when you play in the right person's face, you're really going to be reevaluating your thought process, saying to yourself is, you know what, I should have stayed in my own lane and, yeah. Sorry. Like, what you mean? It happens. It does. You never judge a book by its cover at the end of the day. Because everybody's walk of life is different. Just because somebody may have experienced similarities or whatever the case may be, everybody's walk of life is still different. It is. Yeah, we may have a same common topic in common or whatever the case may be, but that still doesn't identify the fact that everybody's walk of life is still different. Everybody's journey is different. But I can still respect my neighbor regardless of what trauma was endured with me. And I can understand at the end of the day when it comes to my healing process, not everybody's going to agree with it. And it's okay. Not everybody's for me. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But at the same time, too, how we in a society of a world where we need change, we need growth in a healthy way. And how can we actually acknowledge in the day, not to go against our neighbor, but our neighbor doesn't understand the fact that going back and forth and trying to find things and go in a bag and pick things up and try to throw it at you at the end of the day just to bring you down with their words. When you're just trying to elevate, become your best self vision of yourself, and you understood the assignment and you understood God's plan. But your neighbor doesn't understand you. It's not meant for them to understand you. But it's called respect, though. And because they won't respect you, it's because they don't respect themselves. Because they have not done the inner healing within. They would sit there and paint a delusional mind. They would paint a delusional. They would paint a picture of their delusional mindset as to who you are, and that's not who you truly are. They would sit here and lie on you, discriminate your character in a million ways at the end of the day, just to project negative energy on your mindset. And the whole entire time they talking about themselves. Because why is it that you're so bothered by someone truly being at peace with themselves? Why are you so bothered someone actually, God is truly favoring somebody in the day? Why are you so mad that somebody can actually smile and not wear a mask? Why are you so mad that someone can actually get up and be their authentic selves without living in fear, being discouraged, or wanting to give up on themselves in the day? And understanding the tools that God installed within us to become our best self visions of ourselves. It's the mindset for me. Like, people really, like, they take all their negative flaws and throw it on you, the innocent person. You're minding your business, not bothering nobody. I never understood that. I can't go out my way and sit there and antagonize my neighbor at the end of the day because they're having a misunderstanding self-day with themselves. Or even if I'm having a misunderstanding self-day with myself, I can't sit here and project negative energy towards my neighbor because it ain't got nothing to do with my neighbor. It's just the thought process for me. It takes up too much time within me to allow me to come out of character, to allow me to bring up energy that I could put that energy within myself and keep for me. You know how long it takes to be at peace with yourself? No, you can't have my energy. No, you can't. No, you can't. Nope. You know how long it took me to get to this place today? To be at peace? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. You can't have it. You cannot. Not even a little bit. You can't even have my energy. Not even a little bit. But have a good day somewhere else. That's respect. It's respect at the end of the day. And they get mad when you say that. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. When somebody's trying to project negative energy on your mindset so you won't show up for yourself and they want you to fail, they want you to live in fear and all that, you tell them have a good day. Thanks for acknowledging me. Because evidently I'm doing something right that you're bothered by at the end of the day. And I ain't even do nothing to you. I don't even know you. It be the thought process for me. Taking too much time on your hands, you're that miserable. Huh? Like, you're that miserable. That doesn't make sense, ma'am, sir. It really doesn't. Like, how do we get to a point where we can actually understand that being on respect and being on the same page? When living in a world where society today, like, We need to be uniting with each other. It's bigger than culture. It's so bigger than culture, you don't even understand. It is so bigger than culture. Whoo! It is. And I say that respectfully. People are so quick to judge somebody because of their sexual orientation, whatever the case may be. Hold on, pause. As long as somebody don't have malicious intentions to hurt themselves or others around them or neglect anybody around them or try to bring harm or disrespect in the day, what's the problem? What happened? Ain't nobody starting nothing. It won't be nothing, right? It's the thought process for me. But I know this for certain. God has been favoring me. And at the end of the day, I ain't got to say and fake gaslight nobody at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully. Because God has been truly good to me. The trauma that I endured as a child, being sexually assaulted, dealing with domestic violence, dealing with trauma on top of trauma, dealing with dysfunctional family, dealing with spell work and the toxic ways, and I overcame all of that. And they still trying to figure out how. How? Like, how? I ain't kick you down enough. Paying people just to not see me become my best self vision of myself. Paying people to stay away from me just so I could feel less of a person so I won't feel loved. But I'm Naya. I'm Naya, genuine love, respect. I'ma always be loved because I love myself. And God says what's truly for me will always be for me. Respectfully. It's just the thought process for me. Not everybody's going to agree, and that's cool. But it's not meant for you to agree. Because at the end of the day, our walk of life is two different shoes. And I say that respectfully. It's two different shoes. It's two different shoes. Two different shoes. God is good. God is so good. God is so good. You don't understand that when you start to heal within and you genuinely mean it and you understand the assignment, a lot of people is not going to like you. A lot of people will hate you. And they don't even know why they hate you. They just know that they're miserable within their process and they dislike the fact that you're trying to show up for yourself. And when they try to project negative energy on your mindset, they don't want you to show up for yourself. And because you keep overriding it and you keep going and going and going and going and going and going, they want you to stop. And they don't understand how. How? How? The hate in disguise will really truly acknowledge themselves and show you at the end of the day that you're not worthy of yourself. They would sit there and lie on you. They would sit there and manipulate your character. They would sit there and paint a delusional, their thought process and their own delusional mindset as a prediction of a description that you're truly not at the end of the day, just so they can make themselves feel good inside. And it's sad. It really is sad. It really is. It really is. But you gotta be patient with your process. Regardless of who gave up on you, who overlooked you. They gave up on you and they overlooked you. That job opportunity or whatever it was that you thought was for you, when that door closed, it was closed for all the right reasons. It was. Because God said there are better days ahead. God said, I got something better for you. And what God shows you at the end of the day for you to show for yourself, you better show up and show out and do it in that most healthiest way. Because when one door closes, God said, I'm going to guide you to better days ahead. God's protection for every direction. And when God allows you to see who's truly not for you, you got to be mindful and understand the assignment at the end of the day. Not everybody's for you. And that's okay. It truly is. It's okay. It really is. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. You know, everybody's healing process is different. Everybody copes differently. But respect is still a two-way street. I could respect my neighbor regardless to what trauma I endured. From a child point of view going into my adulthood, I can still respect my neighbor. I can understand that my neighbor doesn't understand how God is favoring me. I can understand that my neighbor doesn't understand that because of my sexual orientation at the end of the day, it's impossible for this to even be happening to me right now. It's impossible. It's not impossible. It's always something possible. Because God is showing you at the end of the day, like, never judge a book by its cover. You can't. Because you're only playing in your own face. You know, when an enemy works in our lives for too long and puts this negative projection on us, will allow us to believe certain things are the norm, or will allow us to believe certain things are real, and it's not. And because the enemy stepped in and allowed us to believe that it was the norm for so long, you start to really reevaluate your thought process and say to yourself as well, why is this person, why do I feel like this person, why am I projecting I think this person is better than me? Because you see your neighbor elevating. And it's no competition, but because you haven't elevated yet, you don't understand yourself yet. And because you don't understand yourself yet, you put this projection into the universe being a hate in disguise because you don't know how to elevate yet. You don't know how to understand the assignment when it comes to healing, that you are worthy and you do matter, regardless who overlooked you. You know, because your neighbor is started their healing process, regardless if they started their healing process a month ago, it doesn't matter. 10 years ago. It don't matter because you will forever heal. Because a lot of people endure some bad trauma. Some real bad trauma throughout the years. And it goes overlooked. And when I mean overlooked, substance abuse. Not taking care of it. Just going with their day. And that's not healthy because it gets to a point where it builds up, 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 it builds up. Boom! Now, at this point in time, you got a problem with everybody. Now you got a problem with everybody. Because now they done ticked you off, and now your true colors is about to be shown. Who you truly are. You're pissed but being pissed. And you're tired. Because you're tired of holding stuff back. You're tired of not knowing how to show up for yourself. And you don't know who to count on. You don't know who to trust. Because everybody done portrayed you to be something that you truly wasn't. They done disrespected you. And they overlooked you. They took your kindness for weakness. Manipulated your character. All type of toxic traits and all types of stuff. Or whatever the case may be. But you matter. You do. And you don't have to wait for so long to start the inner healing. But it starts with you. You can't get no prescription to say, okay, start your healing today. Nah, it's not gonna work like that. When it starts with healing, you gotta mean what you say and say what you mean to be true with yourself. And I say that respectfully. You can't have one foot in one door, one foot in the other door, and wearing a mask when you think you're gonna start healing. It doesn't work like that. And I say that respectfully because you gotta be firm as to what you're saying. I want this for me. I want this for me so I could become the best self vision of myself. So I could become the best self vision of myself for everybody else around me that I make sure is good. Because if I'm not me, I'm half stepping when I show up for them. I can't give them my all because I'm half stepping. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like it's a process to this when it comes to healing. And you are so worthy yourself. The most disrespectful words you probably heard from the most people that were supposed to be there and love you and protect you, they disrespected you. Or to the person that said that they wasn't going to give up on you, and they did. Always remember at the end of the day, when those moments happen in your life, it was for all the right reasons. For all the right reasons. For all the right reasons. Because God will send genuine people into your life that's genuinely going to love you, that's genuinely going to respect you for who you truly are, regardless of what trauma you endured from a child point of view going into your adulthood, because you deserve to be treated with respect. Especially when you don't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards yourself and others around you. You deserve to be treated with respect. Regardless of whatever that prescription said about you and they labeling you at the end of the day, that don't matter. Because God said something else. God said that you are worthy. God said that you are matter. You do matter. God said that you are loved. It's a thought process of me. But when it starts with healing, you gotta mean what you say what you mean to be true. Just be true to yourself. You know, looking at your reflection of yourself when it comes to trauma, it's not easy. It really isn't. And you cannot fake gaslight yourself. Because all you're doing is hurting your own process from showing up for yourself as your best self vision of yourself. And I say that respectfully. You delay yourself in life. You do. You delay yourself in the most unhealthiest ways when you least expect it. You know that good job that you say you want for yourself? That entrepreneur that you are? Yo, you could be delaying your own self. And you could be the CEO of your own company right now. That's how delaying you are. That's how delaying you are of yourself. You stopping your own self and your own growth. And you could become a billionaire when you least expect it. You could be that millionaire when you least expect it. Because when you become your own worst enemy, you only stop your own growth. You do. A lot of people may not agree with what I say, and I don't care. But I'm myself. And that's how you're supposed to be. Be yourself. Always be your authentic self without wearing a mask at the end of the day. But you got to be real with yourself. Forget anybody else at the moment. To be real with anybody else, you got to be real with yourself. And I say that respectfully. And when it comes to trauma, when you look at the reflection of yourself, you truly got to identify who you're looking at. Look how beautiful you are. Look how beautiful you are, you stopping your own growth. Look how beautiful you are. How far you came. And you've been patient with yourself. You don't even understand how far you came. You don't understand how you even got here today. But you did. But you did. And you still just trying to figure yourself out. We was never given a handbook as to how to do this, how to do that. But at the end of the day, you got this. You do when you least expect it. Because when you have self-awareness, you have more clarity within yourself to understand yourself, to understand the tools that God installed within you, to show up for yourself. And I say that respectfully. And as you look at your reflection of yourself, you can identify at the end of the day like, wow, my trauma and my pain, I can't allow it to sit here anymore. The enemy stepped in and allowed me to feel I wasn't worthy of myself. The enemy stepped in and allowed me to feel, you know what, I was supposed to go against my neighbor. The enemy allows you to feel like you're supposed to beat yourself up with words and hurt your own self. Allow you to feel like that job was not for you. Allow you to feel like that person wasn't for you. Sometimes it happens when the enemy steps in. The enemy, when you become your own worst enemy, you start doing your own destroying before you least expect it, because the enemy already projected negative energy on your mindset. So being that the enemy already did that, now the enemy ain't got to do their work no more, because now you're doing your own work to stop your own growth. But how? When you're looking at your reflection of yourself and you saying, wait, hold on. I gotta reevaluate my thought process. I allowed the enemy to play in my face for too long. I allowed the enemy to brainwash me for too long. I allowed the enemy to project this negative mindset on my mindset that I don't have self-confidence within myself. I don't have self-respect for myself. I don't know my self-worth. The enemy allowed me to believe to go against my neighbor. But you know what? I want better for myself. I do. I honestly do. I want better for myself. But you gotta mean what you say and say what you mean. But when it comes to healing, it's not easy. Because what happens is, it goes deeper than deeper. And especially if you dealt with trauma from a child point of view. Oh. And then it went into adulthood, on top of trauma. Oh boy. It's gonna be realer than real. And I say that respectfully. It's not gonna be easy. No. You're gonna have some sleepless nights. You're gonna have some crybaby nights. You're gonna have some moments in your time when you walking outside, you're gonna just start crying out of nowhere. And you're gonna start thinking about moments and saying to yourself is, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. But as you letting it go, you're identifying what's going on within you. And you take that negative energy and flip it to something positive in the most healthiest way. Because you choosing you. You gotta choose you. If they not gonna choose you, you gotta choose you. If they gonna overlook you, you gotta choose you. Make them a believer why they overlooked you. Make them a believer. Because at the end of the day, when you make yourself a believer, that's when they want to be around you. And guess what? You don't want to be bothered. Here's the thought process for me. It's too late. Because you done picked yourself up and you understood that when they was trying to kick you down, you may have been homeless. You may have had doors closed in front of your face when you least expected from people that were supposed to love you. When you have nowhere to turn, they was hanging up the phone on you. You didn't know who to call, who to count on. But everybody just knew how to disrespect you. You didn't know who to trust and confide in. Because you felt like talking to certain individuals in the day, all they're going to do is just talk about you, not help you, uplift you, because they can't even help themselves. How's somebody gonna help you if they can't help themselves? But they know how to talk positive energy at the end of the day, but they don't know how to take that same energy and put it in themselves. And it's not working. It's not even working in their favor. It's not even a little bit. You don't even see the progress within them, whatever they trying to project to you. You trying to figure out like, how you talking to me, telling me all of this stuff at the end of the day, and you ain't even got together. How? Like, it'd be the thought process of me, like, for real. It happens like that, though. It's the mindset, though. That's why you gotta protect your energy. You do. And especially when you start healing, because you don't need a distraction within the distraction of your distraction, because you matter. You know, understanding when it comes to healing, you gotta understand that not everybody's supposed to be part of your journey. They're not. Because what happens is, you be so surprised, these folks that you have around you, even family, and I'm saying this respectfully, stops your growth. It does. It may stop your growth. You know how that person that's projecting all this negative energy in your mindset, telling you how stupid you are, how retarded you are, all this negative energy, whatever the case may be, once that person is, removed from you, when God closed that door for all the right reasons today, just to protect you and cover you and guide you to better days, and once you open this new door, because you're walking by faith, not by sight, and once you open this new door to better days ahead and you understand the assignment, choosing you, and God is seeing that, you know what, there are better days ahead, and I'm still being patient with your process for you to show up, and you know how to show up for yourself now? You just opened and access a door that was truly for you. You probably had money sitting in that door for the longest, but you was holding yourself back because you was so depressed. You was in anxiety. You felt like you wasn't worthy of yourself. You didn't know which way to turn because you had all this negative energy within your own negative energy and other projection on you, holding you back. It was only holding you back. And when you realize it was holding you back, you're like, dang. Hold on, you mean to tell me I should have left you fools alone a long time ago? Oh, no. Then you reevaluate your thought process and say, you know what? I gotta protect my energy. I have to. It's no way in crap I'm gonna let somebody stop me from becoming my best self vision of myself. If somebody don't see your worth, it ain't meant for them to see it. But trust me, once and believe, one thing for certain, two things for sure, they gonna see it. And when they see it at the end of the day, they not gonna be able to get in tune to the new self vision of you. Because why? You're elevating now. And it's so crazy because you don't have negative energy towards them as to what they did to you, but you just hope they find peace within themselves one day. You know, it's the mindset. It's the mindset for me. But when it comes to healing, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's not easy. And especially being trauma bond, dealing with toxic family, being brainwashed, manipulated. All these tools that was installed within you to allow you not to become your best self vision of yourselves, it really will affect your mental. It does. Somebody saying that you're stupid, retarded, and all this toxic behavior at the end of the day, and they were supposed to be here to protect you and love you, but they didn't know how to be nurturing to you. That will allow you to delay you. It will delay you so much. You thought it was the norm. And because you thought it was the norm, you don't know how to show up for yourself. And then when you realize and come across certain individuals in the day and say to yourself, "Is wait, hold on. Everybody was taught something totally different in their household. Everybody was loved totally different in their household." And when you reevaluate your thought process and say, "Dang, I need to love me more today because I didn't get that love and that nurturing care that I needed. This is what I've been missing out on." But now it starts with you. You know, it's sad that from a child point of view going into adulthood, for a child wound to go into their adulthood and to be heartbroken still because of a negative projection being put on them from a child point of view. It stops their growth. It delays them so much. It does. It does. That's how people drop out of school. And I say that respectfully. Some people drop out of school because they have to grow up fast. Some people get into situations at a young age because they're looking for love in all the wrong places. And then you have these folks that manipulate the person's character at the end of the day of her description of their delusional mindset so they can look good on their behalf. When at the end of the day, God knows the truth. Trust me, God knows what's up. And I say that respectfully. You know, and to know that regardless of what projection is being put on you or was being put on you in the day, you can override it. You can become your best self vision of yourself because you matter and you are worthy. You are. Never allow someone to psych you out your thought process moving forward. You know that relationship that allowed you to feel like you wasn't worthy of yourself and they took your kindness for weakness and all you was trying to do was just show up for them, but they was just trying to use you and abuse you and disrespect you and make you feel like you wasn't worthy of yourself. You know how they trying to antagonize your character, manipulate you, and you didn't even have that type of energy towards them. You was trying to show them what love was, even with the trauma that was endured within you from a child point of view going into your adulthood. You still knew how to love. You still knew how to respect somebody, but they didn't know how to respect you. You know how when you create a table before yourself, even when you didn't do the healing within, but you still know how to create a table. Imagine when you start to heal within, how many more tables you can actually create in front of you for better days ahead for yourself. With the right people that's truly for you. With the ones who's not going to go against you and manipulate your character. Getting into a relationship with somebody, you got to be mindful at the end of the day that everybody's not for you. You know, you will have some people that will sit here and fake gaslight you at the end of the day just to run up on you and play you close. Just to see what you got going on, what then going on. And their intentions do not be good at all. And then you're reevaluating your thought process, saying to yourself as well, if I know how to come out of my comfort zone and understand I have not done the healing within, but I still know how to love, I still got a chance. I still got a chance at love. And I got a chance to love myself too. You understand? Like, the energy just hits different. And a lot of people don't understand that. And then people try to play this victim card as to, well, I didn't know how to love when I was at a child point of view or whatever the case may be. It's just nothing but a whole bunch of excuses. But you know how to sit up here and say you want to be in a relationship with somebody though, right? How does that make sense? Does that make sense at all? It don't make no sense. I don't think it makes sense. If you could sit up here and initiate a relationship with somebody, you sit up here playing in somebody's face. If you could sit there and try to gaslight them and act like at the end of the day, well, I don't know how to love. I'm acting out because I'm doing this. I'm acting out because I'm doing that. Nah. Bullcrap. You acknowledge what you wanted. You said what you wanted. You said what you was looking for. But the whole entire time you had malicious intentions. When they try to play you close. For all the wrong reasons at the end of the day. For all the wrong reasons. It's sad. It's so sad. How they can see somebody so heartbroken at the end of the day within. And they take advantage of that. They do. That's why you got to be careful who you express yourself to. And I say that respectfully. Because not everybody is deserving of your time. Not everybody is deserving of your time. And especially when you start to express yourself to someone and let them know that the trauma that you experience from a child point of view, going into your adulthood, a person will sit there and fake gaslight you and act like they so in tune with what you got going on, act like they have sympathy for you or whatever the case may be. And the whole entire time, they don't care. They don't. They sitting there disrespecting you because they think that you're a punk. They think all this negative stuff about you at the end of the day. They think you soft, all because of the fact that you know how to be you know how to show your emotions. They think you're being vulnerable. But at the end of the day, when you in a relationship with somebody, you're supposed to be your authentic self. You should be able to be nurturing. You should be able to understand that it's a two-way street when it comes to respecting each other. That's why everybody's not for you. And I say that respectfully. It's a thought process for me. It's funny how they overlooked you. But trust in the process. Understanding the assignment. That there are better days ahead. Even when they overlooked you. You got to understand choosing you is the best self. Choosing you as your best self vision of yourself. To look at your reflection of yourself. To understand that there are better days ahead. You're getting in tune to who you are. Understand that it's patient with impatience to be patient with your process. Understand that, yeah, they overlooked you. They took your kindness for weakness. They manipulated you. But be patient with yourself. Yeah, they overlooked you. They knew that you was a good one. But they overlooked you. They knew that you had patience for yourself, but they overlooked you. They overlooked you. They overlooked you for all the wrong reasons. Because they didn't have good intentions. They overlooked you. Because they didn't understand themselves. But they overlooked you. They overlooked you for all the right reasons because they wasn't for you. But overlooking yourself will only stop your growth. So don't overlook yourself because they overlooked you. I say that respectfully. Don't overlook yourself because God never overlooked you. Regardless who overlooked you, you matter. You sure do. Be patient with your process because God loves you. You know, like I said, this page is not for everybody, and that's okay. But when God is working in your favor, when you know at the end of the day that you don't have to fake gaslight nobody. You don't have to sit here and wear a mask to be in tune with yourself at the end of the day because you mean what you say and you say what you mean, that you being your authentic self and you being real with yourself. When you look at your reflection of yourself and you understand at the end of the day, I can actually look at my reflection of myself to understand that I understand God's plan for me. There are better days ahead. You gotta love yourself to understand that there are better days ahead. If you don't love you first, they're not gonna understand your plan for you. It's not their plan, it's your plan for you. When you choose you, because you create your own plan in the most healthiest ways. How you create your life for you. Not what they want, what you want. The ball is in your court. The score is on you now. So being that the score is on you now, make that win for the win. Make it your win. Because you matter. It's all right they overlooked you. But stop overlooking yourself. You allowed yourself to get this far. You allowed yourself to pick yourself up. The most uncomfortable days that you had within your life. Being homeless. Whatever transpired in your life. Folks giving up on you. People taking your kindness for weakness. Manipulating your character of a delusional mindset as a description of their thought process. They overlooked you. But you can't overlook yourself. It's okay to cry. You're not a punk. Never forget that. To get in tune with yourself is to understand yourself. And to understand your emotions and why you having these emotions. Don't beat yourself up with your words because you don't understand yourself at the moment. That's why you have to be patient with yourself. The same way you're patient with that relationship, the same way you're patient with getting to talk to somebody, the same way you can be patient to get to know you. And I say that respectfully. It starts with you. It does. Yeah, they overlooked you. Yeah, it didn't work out. But you still got you. And you still got to balance you out. You still got to balance you out. And you can't allow dysfunctional situations within dysfunctional situations of toxic situations stop your growth. You can't. Especially a temporary situation. Never allow a temporary situation stop you from showing up. Never. And I say it respectfully. And especially when you acknowledge, you know what? It's only temporary. I got this. Better days ahead. Watch. They said I'm nothing. I'm not worthy of myself. But I believe in me. Because God has allowed me to believe in myself. I may not have felt like getting out of bed today. But I got out of bed today. I may not feel like going for that walk today. I may not feel like going to work today. I may not feel like doing this. But you know what? I'm still choosing my best self vision of myself to have balance, to understand at the end of the day, I don't have to rush to do anything. I'm on my pace. I'm not on nobody else's pace. I'm on my pace. And I understand me. I know what works for me. And because you have self-awareness and you understand to choose you, you understand how to treat yourself and to understand what's truly for you, to balance everything out. Don't put too much on your plate that you can't handle. And I say that respectfully. Break it down. What you rushing for? No need to rush. No need to rush. You got this. But you gotta be patient with you. And I say that respectfully, because you are worthy. You are. You are. Only if you knew how worthy you truly are, how special you truly are, how much of a miracle you truly are, you'd be like, you know what? I love me. If nobody else love me, I love me. If you ain't hear nobody say it, it's okay. Say it to yourself. It's all right. It's okay. Walking down the street, tell yourself you love yourself. Who cares if somebody look at you like you crazy? I love myself. It's okay. It's all right. I'm doing better with myself today than I did yesterday. I'm taking the time for me. It's me. I deserve this. It's me. I'm not trying to project none of my negative energy or what I got going on within my life at the end of the day on anybody else. That's truly not for me. Because what's for me would be for me. And when somebody comes into your life and understands you and not go against you, that energy hit different. They're not going to sit here and hurt you with words. They're not going to sit here and manipulate your character, allow you to feel unworthy of yourself. It's going to be a two-way street when it comes to respect. Because y'all truly for each other, regardless of what bond it is. And I say that respectfully. Neighbor. It don't matter. Respect is a two-way street. You know, it's sad that how society is set up at the end of the day that people hurt each other, bring each other down when someone's trying to pick themselves up. They just try to kick them right back down. You know, it's so sad. When we supposed to be helping our neighbor, get our neighbor, help. Come on, let's go. Get your ass up. You know, we're supposed to be helping our neighbor, not kick our neighbor down. Your neighbor's already down. Why would you want to kick them more down? That's not right. Come on. Enough is enough. Stop the violence. Stop the violence. Stop having all the hate and the animosity within your heart and being discriminated against your neighbor at the end of the day because you don't understand yourself or a narrative was projected on your mindset and allow you to believe it was the norm to go against your neighbor or allow you to believe that it's okay and the norm to have violence within violence of your communities or your village or whatever the case may be. It's not the norm. It's not. It's not the norm at all. People hurting themselves, taking themselves out, taking their own selves out. That was never part of God's plan. Never. But you matter and you are worthy. You do. You do matter. You do matter. Never allow someone to allow you to feel like, you know what, I want to give up today. Because of a projection being put on you. Or because someone don't understand themselves today. Ain't got nothing to do with you. It don't. Just pick yourself up. You know what? That wasn't for you. That job opportunity wasn't for you. That person wasn't for you. This not for you. All right, there's better days ahead. I'm a firm believer that there are better days ahead. And when you're a firm believer within yourself, you just gotta be patient with your process. You do. But you gotta understand and do the inner work within. So you can understand why you're showing up for yourself. You gotta understand how you're going to show up for yourself. Make a game plan for yourself. Do it the right way. Baby steps. It's like I said, it's not going to be an overnight process, but getting in tune with yourself, seeing what you truly like, because you'd be so surprised that the things that you thought you was interested in, you'd be so surprised that the things that you become more interested in. You'd be like, hold on, wait. How I overlook myself with this one? Yeah. Dealing with trauma and pain will allow you not to see yourself. Allowing someone putting a negative projection on your mindset will allow you not to see yourself. To see something that you truly love. Or something that admires, like that brings you inspiration. To motivate you to become your best self vision of yourself. You see how your growth gets stopped? Because of negative energy that's being projected on you. You matter. Don't beat yourself up because someone is trying to project negative energy in your mindset. Don't do that. Don't hurt yourself more than you already hurt. You can't do it. You cannot. It's only going to stop you from becoming your best self vision of yourself. When you truly matter, you do. Believe in you. When they don't believe in you. Believing in you will allow you to believe in everything that's truly for you in the most healthiest ways. Don't dim your light because they did. They allowed you to be in the dark for all the wrong reasons. Because your light was, you were the light of the room. When you least expected, you were the light of the room. And you know that. You know it. You know it. They try to dim your light too many times, regardless of who it was. Don't let them do it anymore. You don't gotta go back and forth with words with somebody. You don't gotta disrespect somebody because they don't understand you today. As long as you're not being disrespectful, as long as you don't have malicious intentions, Keep showing up for you in the most healthiest ways. They will attack you with words. They will disrespect you, bring harm towards you probably. But be firm within yourself. Be firm that you got this. You do. You do. And when you realize that the enemy does not live here today, that energy hits so different. It does. Because when you become your worst enemy at the end of the day, it only stops your growth. So stop becoming your worst enemy of a projection that was put on you. You can't stop your growth any more than you did. Enough is enough. You matter. It starts with you. I'm gonna wrap this up. I truly appreciate your time. Just because they gave up on you, don't give up on yourself. Just because they overlooked you, don't give up on yourself. You are genuinely loved by all the right people. You are genuinely respected by all the right people. And you deserve to be treated with respect 365 days with no malicious intentions to bring harm towards you and others around you. You matter. You do. You do. You do matter. Never allow the enemy or hate in disguise or personal malicious intentions psych you out your thought process, let alone your freedom, your pockets, or your eyesight. Because they have malicious intentions. Protect your energy, because not everybody's serving your time. Not your genuine love, respect. It's the thought process for me! Good day. I hope you have a... Who's this in here? Who's in the room? I want to acknowledge whoever you are. Whoever you are, have a good day. I truly appreciate your time to tuning in tonight, Genuine Love. Till next time. Later.